Oh, got everything, even my coffee. They've left a plastic spoon in there. That's very dangerous. Plastics, hot things, no good. Thank you, Sophia. I'd let her have it near the equipment. Sorry, Laurie. First letter tonight. Universities are not the place of learning they used to be, and they've been killed by the web. Maybe. We'll see what the panel's got to say. Letter number 2. This pathetic, dumb, ill-considered and thoroughly uneducated, primitive and violent man made me feel that the federal government is doing the right thing. Happy note to finish that sentence. And the final letter tonight, he's only 19, wants to become a father. What a mug. Let's see what the panellists have got to say. 20 seconds, sweet and sour, don't go away. See you in a minute. Where's my coffee? Please. Thank you.
Big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Yeah! Right here on Sweet and Sour.
How's it got sugar on there, baby?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's it got some chili?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. And we've got some terrific guests in tonight. First up, my mate Peter Katsambanis is here. Hello, sir.
How are you, Gary?
I'm always good, you know that.
I know that.
Almost as good as you.
Not quite, I think.
Not quite?
Nice
Not quite?
and relaxed.
All right. How are the hustings going?
The hustings are always there, mate.
Always
busy.
there, always there.
Yes.
And what about your adorable wife?
She's always there too, and she's doing a good job.
She's doing a good job. We have her on the panel occasionally
Every
as
now
well.
and again.
You know, if she's told you that.
Well, she tells me she's the better one of the two on the panel. Is she right, or who's better, me or her?
No, you're both a bit, you know, you can battle it out at home. a bit like that, you know. We'll have her on. Actually, we should probably have the two of you on together.
Oh my goodness.
We'll have all of her crew and you.
Fireworks?
Oh, yeah, I wonder who will actually subdue the other one into submission. Yeah, we'll see. Keep watching for that show. We'll do that soon. Hello, Bec.
Hello.
You're launching into the world of commerce again. What are you doing?
Yes, I'm expanding my business from hair extensions and makeup artistry to wholesaling hair, so I have a new hair extension line coming out.
You're wholesaling hair.
Yes, I am. Sounds very unusual for people who don't know the industry, but for those who do...
Wholesaling hair. Hair extensions?
That's correct.
Is it real
These
hair?
things. Yes, it's human hair.
Ooh, where does it come from?
All over the world.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the armpits.
Yes, totally.
Good to have
I
you
didn't
here.
know where you were going with that.
Christina, all the way from East Timor.
Yeah.
Back for only a week in Australia and you're here with us. Fantastic.
Yes, I am.
Terrific to have you here.
I'm very happy to be here.
How's life in East Timor?
It's interesting. It's quite the experience, in all
It
honesty.
would be.
Yeah.
Now, for those viewers at home who might recognise Christina's face, she's actually been part of both our crew and our panellist contingent over the last, how many years?
I don't want to say 10, but I feel like it might have been 10.
It's 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So welcome back.
Thank
We're
you.
happy to have you anytime you pop into Australia.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Terrific to take time out on your very brief visit to come and see us too. So thank you. Harry?
Yes.
Greece is defaulting, everything's going south. What's going on, mate?
Well, we're going through a little bit of a dip at the moment. That's probably the best way to explain it.
Is there any room for the interest rates to go further south?
I'm going to go out on the limb and say we might see another move.
Down?
We might see another move down.
He's never wrong. He's never been
No, I
wrong.
don't know about that,
He's had one aberration in that,
Yep.
in all of that. In how many years have you been coming on this show?
About 11, 10 years.
11, 10 years. He's been wrong once in the direct, just once.
There you go.
Not a bad little accolade. Here
All
we go.
good, thank you.
Letter number 1. Hello, Mitch and guests. It's called Web Dumb. Universities are not the place of learning they used to be, and they've been killed mainly by the web, but also by the government. I was so looking forward to having the experience my mum and dad keep reminiscing about when they went to their respective universities. For one thing, there's no one in lectures anymore and very few on campus because of it. Everyone is taking the lazy road and watching the lectures in downloaded format over the net. Seriously, the constant challenge to everyone's ideas and ongoing discussions about this, that and the other thing is just non-existent. Universities are now sterile except for basic content. I'm so completely and utterly disappointed. Mum and Dad keep telling me everything is what you make it, but I can't turn the clock back to another age where the coffee shops and the grassed areas were full with arguing radical and not so radical students, where demonstrations every second day were commonplace. On top of all of that, Most of my friends are doing their best to keep up with the expenses and have to spend much of their time working to get themselves through their degree. The internet has killed the university experience, and the flood of argument and knowledge that should be washing through all tertiary institutions isn't there. In the long term, how the hell are we going to compete with other nations when the corridors of knowledge in Australia are vacuous? Comes to us from Callista of McGill in South Australia. H, you're up first, mate.
Callista, nostalgia is a seductive liar. And that's all I can say.
Very true.
That what you need to understand is that what your parents went through is a very different world now with the internet. And I think the internet's an actually fantastic thing. It's giving an opportunity for so many people that probably can't make it to university that can still go to university through the power of the internet. And people having jobs and paying off and all these meetings that you were talking about and discussions and everything, they're still now going online, but people are using new platforms. They're using Twitter or they're using blogs. You just got to get out there and embrace the internet because it is not going away. It's here to stay, and it's only going to get stronger and better over time.
It certainly is. That we're witnessing the information age, and we've been lucky enough to see its birth. You were at uni when all this was going on and starting?
Actually, I was at uni just last year.
Really?
Yeah, I was finishing my Masters.
So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Masters in?
International Relations.
Of course it is. And now tell me, where's all the demonstrations? Where are all the chats? Where are all the arguments? Are they still happening?
It's all still happening. I actually found this incredibly confusing, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. The thoughts, the challenges, the ideas are all still happening. And yes, most of it is still happening online because it is a new platform. It's where we're talking about these things and discussing these things. But as soon as you get involved online, you get invited to real events. You can get involved. Furthermore, you should be getting involved with like the student union and things like that. Yeah. That's where action happens, and that's where local politics begins.
It's all changing. Bec? What's your view?
I have nothing to say except move into this decade, Callista. Seriously.
Yeah, stop reminiscing about what your parents were doing.
I
It
don't
always
know if
sounds
your
better.
parents were peace-loving hippies holding banners in the 70s or something, because that's what it sounds like. But as the panel have already said, we don't do things that way anymore. But your voice can be heard, and I think more people are talking because you don't have to go to a campus to stand in a picket line or to join in a conversation. You can do it from your very own lounge on your mobile phone. Things are happening more instantaneously, and it's happening around the world, and you're getting opinions from various communities and different kinds of people, not just the people who are loud enough and opinionated enough to stand up in front of a crowd of people and say something. And isn't that what we want? We want more variety, we want more people talking, we want more contributions. So I say move into the decade. Get on board.
When the corridors of knowledge in Australia are vacuous, is that true?
No. I don't think that part's true. But I was at university in that era where we had the demonstrations, and I was actively involved in student politics. And I actually had a rule. My mates and I had a rule. We had a 3-for-1 rule. We would attend 1 hour of lectures or classes or scheduled time for every 3 hours we either spent at the CAF or playing student politics or going down to the local pub. And I think kids, I actually think kids are missing that part of the experience, genuinely missing that today. I've got 2 kids at uni, and I know they watch their lectures online, at home, or with their friends. I think it's narrowing down their social circle. The other thing it's doing, it's bringing into question the physical existence of the university. I mean, you don't need physical libraries anymore. You can get them all online.
You don't need to turn up.
At unis, they've got these empty lecture theatres. The lecturers talking to themselves. Perhaps what the lecturers need to do is make it interesting enough, make the content interesting enough for kids to attend in real time rather than online. But otherwise, I agree with everyone else. This is the way the world's going.
There you go, Callista. Move into the 21st century, hun. When we come back, we're talking about a character by the name of Zaki Mallard. Don't go away. Do we know who we're talking about when we say Zaki Mallard?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
we
yes,
do.
we do.
Yes. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's about to appear on your screen right now, which is letters@sweetandsour.net.au. You can look us up on the net as well, which is sweetandsour.net.au. Give us a like on Facebook or send us a tweet. You can even have a look at our backstage photos on Instagram. There it is, at Sweet and Sour TV. And for everyone who does send us a letter, and we do read it out, we're going to send it to the movies courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. There it is, Madame Bovary. To all our letter writers, here we go, letter 2. Dear Sweet and Sour, I for one was delighted the ABC presented that terrorist idiot Zaki Mallah on Q&A. I didn't know who the hell he was prior to that show, but his pathetic, dumb, ill-considered and thoroughly uneducated, primitive and violent views made me feel that the federal government is doing the right thing with legislation to take dual citizen terrorists and throw them out of the country. Then stupid Tony Abbott, trying to have a free kick and get his boots into the ABC, criticises the so-called left-wing national broadcaster for giving this terrorist a platform. He says it's irresponsible. Abbott should have taken the opportunity to congratulate the ABC for laying plain the justification for the anti-terrorist legislation and directed everyone to watch the replays. Abbott is so utterly biased that he totally misread the whole episode and managed to show traditional Liberals like me that Julie Bishop or Malcolm Turnbull would be far better in the role of our Prime Minister than the current dropkick. Does anyone really agree with Abbott's totally unbalanced view that we would be better off censoring these idiots and preventing the population hearing their diabolical diatribe? Trevor of Bunbury in WA writes, and Pete, you're first up on that one.
Trevor from Bunbury, you're entitled to your opinion, you're entitled to free speech. I just think you're wrong. But don't take it from me. Take it from the person that you say you think is a bit of a hero to you, Malcolm Turnbull. He called out the ABC for what they did. Because this issue isn't about censorship. It's not about free speech. It's about giving a platform to evil. Zaki Mallah is someone who was convicted of attempting to kill or threatening to kill 2 ASIO agents. He has put on all these vile posts on Facebook and Twitter and other forums. We know what he's about. We also know what ISIS are about. We don't need to know any more about the fact that they drown people in cages in swimming pools, that they kidnap Christian girls and rent them out as sex slaves. We don't need to know any more about that. What this is about is the taxpayer-funded national broadcaster giving a platform to these idiots, these morons like Zaki Mallah. It's not a matter of free speech. He can go out there on the internet and tweet and post away all he likes. But when we present this guy as some sort of respectable face that we should be debating, that's where you've lost me. It's as simple as that.
Good on you, Pete. Strong views there. Bec,
Yeah,
how do you feel?
I totally agree with you, Pete, as well. And I mean, let's be honest, let's not turn this into a rant on Abbott and put him down. We all know that whoever's running the government isn't the face of that. It's the party behind it. So don't turn this into a Turnbull or a Bishop or an Abbott discussion. It's nothing about that. It's about the point which you've so rightly made. So I agree.
It was interesting though, you know, it's been 10 years or 9 years since his offence, and yet to come out and more or less incite people to go and repeat the exercise, get on planes and go and fight for ISIS. I just thought, number one, you're inciting people to hurt others. And number two, why is there not a law to actually prosecute him for actually saying that on our national broadcaster? Because he is inciting people to go and hurt other people. And that's what really got me. He's still free to go out there and sprig this rubbish. H, how do you feel?
Well, I agree with what you said, Peter, and you said it very, very well. However, he is entitled to free speech. It's just not the platform for where he should have done it. And that's as simple as it gets. Under corporate governance, the ABC does have a duty of care for the people that were in that room. If this guy had been convicted for other type of crimes, it's amazing what the reaction might have been. In this particular case, clearly, he's got this strong support for ISIS and what they stand for, and he really was given a free kick to actually put that on the national broadcaster when that shouldn't have happened. That should have been reined in from day one.
He's done us all a bit of a favour though, because I didn't know who Zaki Mallah was either, and all of a sudden I am absolutely repulsed by his mind and his thoughts. And I thought, yep, like the first part of this letter, I thought, yep, this character needs to go away.
I actually feel sorry for him. I actually feel sorry for him.
Well, you're a very good-hearted man.
No,
then,
I feel
probably
sorry
better
for
than
him
me.
I feel sorry that a young man with such great potential to do so many other things in life has chosen to take that turn on that road.
We're almost out of time, but Christina, you always take a philosophical view on all these sorts of things. What's your view on this situation?
Well, I think whether or not you agree with the, you know, the dual citizenship laws and the changes that they're trying to enforce, or censorship in general, I agree with Pete in that this was just not the right platform for someone like that to be having this discussion. He just shouldn't have been there. And the ABC has come out and said it was a complete mistake to have him there, and I agree.
Is it a mistake to have a kid when you're only 19 years of age yourself?
Oh, I don't know. It's a bit of a tough one, that one.
Bit of a tough one. When we come back, too young to have a kid at 19? It's a boy. And his missus is 28, a few years older. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. Don't go away.
Usually I'm behind the scenes on Sweet and Sour, but every now and then I get a special perk and Gary lets me wear his shirt when he calls me onto the panel at short notice. Awesome.
Everyone's thankful. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Here we go. Last letter of the night. Dear Sweet and Sour, he's only 19 and wants to become a father. He's been seeing a girl, or rather a woman, for 2 years, and they broke the news to me just last week. Now, she's older than him at 28, but that's hardly old enough to blame this on a biological clock ticking. So what's really going on here? I'm not about to say he'd be a bad father or anything like that, but surely he's far too young to take on this enormous responsibility with a woman 9 years older. It will ruin his life. I've already found it hard to get him alone to speak sense to him because she's a manipulating little hussy who's already driving a wedge between me and my young son. I need to bring him down to earth, or just have him see that such a responsibility at his age is not a great idea. He can always start a family much later. What's the rush? There is no talk of marriage in any of this, and he'll still be a student. And he's still a student while she's a mining company secretary. If they have a baby, though, all that will change. I want him to think about the things he'll miss out on, like earning power he'll be losing by skipping uni. He could better afford a child in 4 years' time when, as a uni graduate, he could earn double the chicken feed he's on now. Surely 19 for a male is far too young to seriously become a parent, especially with a much older woman. How might I get to him, and what will be a convincing enough argument for a teenager to ward him off baby making and the whims of this woman? It comes to us from Angela of Pascoe Vale, Victoria. Christina, what's happening here?
The line that really stood out for me was, "It will ruin his life."
Or make it.
Or make it. Did having your child ruin your life? Surely not. I mean, I feel like that there is something deeper going on here. And the other thing that really gives away the situation for me is this line. "She's a manipulative little hussy." Wow. I think that the problem here is not actually that your son wants to have a child at such a young age. It's that you can't accept that he's grown up. He's seeing a woman, he's in love with someone, and it's not just you. I'm sure he loves you very much, but he's, you know, becoming a man and moving on. I think you might be just a little bit too protective of your son. And I think the only way that you're going to be able to get through to him and speak to him honestly and openly about having a child is by showing him and his partner some respect, and discussing it properly with them. I'm sure they have their reasons, and it sounds like you haven't been listening.
Is 19, whether you're male or female, in this age of the information age, too young to consider having kids?
That was the third line that stood out for me, actually. Surely 19 for a male is far too young. Why for a male? What's the difference here? Surely if it's going to be too young for one person, it's going to be too young for another, no matter what their sex. However, what I would say to that is that I know so many people who had children very young, and they're amazing
parents.
people.
Yep,
They're
agreed.
terrific parents, they've had amazing lives. It's just different to what some people might expect.
H, come on in.
Oh, Christina, that's just beautiful what you just said. So logical. It just, I don't know where to go with that other than send him to Greece for a holiday. Get him on the Greek islands, surrounded by all the action on the Greek island, and let me tell you, Miss 28-year-old is just going to sail off into the sunset. And I agree.
Actually, that's true. He's only 19.
Oh, he's 19 in the
all you
Greek
have to do
islands,
is
mate.
throw some other bit of...
Vodka shooters and...
Sorry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
raging hormones, 19, that's all it
Exactly.
really takes.
End
At
up
the
with a
moment,
couple
he's
of-
probably got something that he's never had before, and he's going, wow, bring it on again.
Exactly. You'll end up with a 38-year-old Italian or something like that if he rides mine. And she'll probably come with a whole family pack. So, you know, everything that you need. So, Christina was very, very right with what she said, but I'm just going the other way. Send him away for a holiday, interrupt the pattern. Even if you've got to be sneaky, send him a prize and say, you've won a single ticket to Greece. Not allowed to bring anybody. Very subtle.
You'll probably
And
be
that's
able to
it.
buy it in about 2 weeks, so economy of scales will be good, really good. Pete, what's going on here?
Look, Angela, I know you care about your son and you want to have a discussion with him. I think there's an important discussion to be had, and you use the word responsibility in there. I think the discussion you need to have with your 19-year-old son is to let him know the responsibilities of being a father, not a breeder, but the difference between being a breeder and being a father. And too many blokes in this day and age, and I've said this plenty of times publicly, too many blokes in this day and age shirk their responsibilities. If this guy is prepared to take on the responsibilities of being a role model and helping to rear his child, helping to fund it and be there for his child, then he's ready. If he understands those responsibilities and he's prepared to take them on, good on him, because he'll be one of the ones who isn't a deadbeat dad. And you should support him in that endeavour. But then if he's not prepared to take on the responsibilities, take the Harry route and send him
to
off for a
Greece.
holiday.
Beck, too young?
At the end of the day, what is too young? What is the best family situation? What is a good marriage? There's so many questions that could be asked. And today's society, there are different examples of successful marriages, successful partnerships, successful child rearing at younger ages, at older ages. I'm 35 and I haven't even had a kid yet. So I'll be old, but I've lived my life, that's great. He'll be young when his kids are in their teens, and he'll be able to do crazy things then and travel the world and do all those things. You make the best of the life that you're given. And what I have to say to you, Angela, is this is not your life. All right,
Let
this
your
is
son
not
live.
your life.
He's allowed to make his own mistakes. Do you like this letter to
Exactly.
give away the pair of limited
do.
edition sunnies? You
I
do.
do.
Courtesy of Alon Treves and Aussie Opticals. Pete, do you like this letter?
I do. I think that's letter of the week for me.
2 for Angela of Pascoe Vale. This side of the panel,
Well, I kind of liked the university letter.
letter number 1. Harry, which one did you like?
Number 1.
Oh, hang on. University is...
Surely she
Oh,
needs
South
a pair of
Australia. It doesn't make a
sunglasses.
difference. South Australia trying to save on postage. All right, my vote goes to, let's see, universities. I like this one too. Letter number 3, coming out to Angela of Pascoe Vale. Who's going to wear those glasses though? Nobody needs to hide. Never mind. Doesn't really matter about that, does it? Give them to your son. Never mind. Pete, terrific to have you here, mate.
Always great to be here, Gary.
It's always
Great fun
good to
time
have you.
again.
We will have you again fairly shortly.
forward
Perhaps
to it.
together with your wife as well.
Yeah, Carolee and I will see who gets the chocolates on that occasion.
Bec, good luck with your launch.
Yeah,
coming up.
very exciting.
Come back and see us so you can launch the product on the program as
I
well.
will, that'll be great. Thanks, Gary.
Christina, good luck back in East Timor. When do you leave?
I leave next Wednesday, actually.
Oh, you haven't got
but
too long with the
I've got
whole
to
family.
got to stop in Greece on the way.
So
Just
does
in
Harry.
time for the economic
So does
collapse.
Harry.
Great.
When does your ticket expire, Harry, to Greece?
I wouldn't go there for a holiday because I don't think I'd come back.
Oh, thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everybody. Come on, wave there. That's how we go. Terrific.
That's it.
Thank you. Oh, I'm booking for tomorrow.
That's it.
Oh, you know what?
I'm
Greece.
leaving on the 15th.
Oh, for how long? What do you?
For 2 weeks.